Hare Vai 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 Hare Hare Vai Hare ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ। The first slok in Japji Sahib is Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, Happy Sach, Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. That one Vaheguru which is pervading everywhere, Maharaj is saying he never perishes. He's the only Sach, he's the only Sat in this whole universe. Sare Brahmand de vich, or in the multiple universes, he's the only one. Ikko hi hai. He was there in the beginning. Aad Sach, Jugad Sach. In every age he was there. Happy Sach. Right now also he's there. He never perishes. He's always there. He never wanders. He never perishes. He never moves. Nothing. Just steady. And wherever you will see, wherever your eyes will go, you will see him. Everywhere. किथे नहीं कटता, ना कटता है, ना बढ़ता है. Neither he reduces, nor he is increasing. He's there. Maybe our eyes did not reach there before, but he's there. Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, he's there in the ages. Happy Sach, right now also he's there. We will perish, but he is imperishable. Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. Vaheguru Ji is also called Sach. Prabhu Paramatma is also called Sach. Who we have to meet? ਅਸੀਂ ਮਿਲਾਪ ਕਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ? ਸੱਚ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. Because we are living in chut. This physical body is chut. Anything which perishes is chut, is a lie. It's not, it's temporary. This is the game. Very, very difficult to understand. Very difficult. Because whatever happens in our life, we think it's truth. It's a such. But that's not a such. We live our life in a way we think this world is a such. That's why we have dukh. That's why we have a pain. If we will understand just the basic thing that this world is a lie, दुनिया सारी झूठ है, then most of our problems will be solved. Because we think this world is such, we act in ego. ਹੋਮੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Everything we will do in ego. Because we think we have a certain reputation in the society. We have to do certain things to be accepted in the society. We have to behave in a certain manner. Maybe behind the curtains we are behaving in a different manner, but in front of the people we all want to have a good reputation. मन विच साडे की चल रहा है? Mind might be corrupted. Totally corruption going on in the mind. But in front of everybody, we want to behave well. But Maharaj says that's hypocrisy. Maharaj says the only way you can be truthful if you merge in that such. If you become one with that such. Because that such never changes. It's always the same. It's always steady, always stable. It will never change. That's why Maharaj is saying, aao padhiye, Aad Sach slok, Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, Happy Sach, Nanak hosi pe Sach. Sach. He's there. He was there in the beginning. And how many times this world has been created and destroyed through the Shabad. Utpat parlo shabde hove. Gurmukh Pyare, this just half an hour back, was calling me and asking me about Omkar. She was asking me, is there a definition in the Gurbani about the Omkar? Omkar Brahma Utpat. Omkar Kiya Jinchit. That Omkar is the sound of Vaheguru, that Shabad of Vaheguru, which originated from the Ik, from the Sach. That Omkar is the Sach. That sound is the Sach. Just created the whole Brahman. Omkar Brahma Utpat. Omkar Kiya Jin Chit. If our mind will also connect with that Omkar, with that Sat Shabad, it means our mind is connected with that Sach. When our mind and the Sat will become one, we will become just like him. We'll behave just like him. But we have to ask ourselves, are we at that state right now? Do we get anger? If we are getting anger, that means we are not yet merged. If we have anxiety, depression, lust, greed, attachment, because then we are not steady. Ikrasni again. Then we are wandering, as in our mind is wandering. But Maharaj is steady. And he was steady not just now. It was not like that he did some meditation and then he became a steady. He was always steady. He was always prevailing everywhere. Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, Happy Sach, Nanak, Osi bhi Sach. In future also, he will be there. We might not be there. We, as in our physical body, will not be there, but he will be there. And if we somehow in him, if we merge in him, then we will also be there. Ashtpadi, Charan, Sat, Sat person har. Now, person har literally means to touch. Charan means feet. Literally, it means to touch the feet. But which feet we have to touch? And who has to touch? Our physical body has to touch? No. What is the feet of Vaheguru? The Naam. That's why Maharaj gave the definition in the first line itself. Charan Sat. Only his Naam is Sat. His feet is Sat. Sat Naam. That's why it is also called Sat Naam. Ikonkar. Sat Naam. His Naam is also Sat. His Charan is Sat. Charan Sat as in Sat Naam. Sat person har. We have to touch the feet of Vaheguru, meaning we have to enshrine his feet in our mind, his sound in his mind, his naam in his mind, in our mind. Uda jede charan hai apne hirday vich vasane. And how can we do that? We have to become a sevadar. Sant ki seva naam te aiye. Har ki tehel kamavani japiye prabh ka naam. Puja, that's a puja. Puja in Gurbani is devotional worship, bhakti. It's not like doing some rituals, that you are doing some toof, agarbatti or something. You are burning an incense or some jot or something. That's not a puja. Puja is when we do prema bhakti, with love, devotional worship. Puja sat, puja भी किदी करनी है, सच दी पूजा, बंदे दी नहीं. वाहेगुरु puja. Puja Sat, Sat Sevdar. Seva also of the beings of the Sachi Sangat. Sachi Sangati Seva. Sant ki Seva Naam te aiye. Puja Sat, Sat Sevdar. And then we will become his Sevadar or Sevdar. His true Pagats. When we will do his seva, the seva of the Naam. Darshan, once we will do the seva, once he will come in our mind, then he will show his image also to us, his form also. Darshan sat sat pekhanhar. Who is watching? Who is doing the darshan? When we say I am doing the darshan or I want to do the darshan, who am I? मेरी पहचान की है. Am I this physical body? Am I these eyes? Am I these 9 doors? Am I these senses? What is our true identity? It's like you look into an onion and there are so many shells there, right? You remove one part, then still the onion is there. Second, still there is an onion left. You're removing all the clothes, all the peels. You're peeling the onion one by one, one by one, one by one. And when you remove everything, in between you find a little bit small thing. That outside shell was all our ego, but inside is the Atam. Atam Ram, Ram hai Atam. And that is our true self. Mantu Jot Swarup hai apna mool pachan. Actually, who we have to look? Darshan kide karne hai? Apne darshan karne hai. We have to do our own darshan. We have to see ourselves inside us. अपने दर्शन कितने नहीं बाहरों दर्शन करते हैं आप. इस मन को कोई खोजो पाई, तन छूटे मन कहां समाई. When this body will go away, where will be the mind? उधर दर्शन करने हैं. That darshan is inside us. नाम सत, सत ध्यावनहार, Sach naam. We have to do dhyana. Dhyana means to put the focus. Surat nu shabad de naal jodna. When we connect our surat, our focus to the shabad, that is what naam sat sat ध्यावनहार. That anhat bani, anhat shabad, which comes when your mind is no longer wandering, when the thoughts are dead. When we do Wah Guru, Wah Guru, Wah Guru, when we kill our thoughts, when we erase our thoughts, then only we can listen to that Naam. Otherwise not. We cannot listen to the Naam also. Naam Sat Sat Dhyavanhar. First the Dhyan, Dhun mein Dhyan, Dhyan mein Janya, Gurmukh Kath Kahani. First Dhyan is listening to our own voice. Suniya Dukh Paap Ka Nas. When we will do that, then we will listen to the sound from his mouth also, his own sound. Aap Sat Sat Sabtari. He is the only Sat. And whosoever connect with him also becomes Sat. Everything he has done is Sat. But when we connect with him, our mind also becomes Sat. Ape gunakari. We don't have any gun. We don't have any good qualities. Hum avgun pare ek gun nahi. When our mind connects with him, then only the guns come. Then only the good qualities come. Otherwise, we are filled with the filth, with the thoughts of this world. Ape gunkari. He is the one who has created these qualities and he has all the qualities. He will give us all the qualities once we will connect with his Naam. How? What the Sat as in Vaheguru is speaking? Ki bol raha? Shabad Sat Sat Prabh Bhakta. Now in the Punjabi word Bhakta is a very bad word. But this is a good word. Bhakta as in somebody speaking. Now we take it as a rule word. But it is a very good word. Inside him, us, when we say Vah Guru, who is chanting? Are we chanting? Asi japde hain? No, he is chanting. Our job is to listen. Shabad Sat Prabh Bhakta. If you do good amount of Antargat Simran, you will realize that. Somebody else was doing the Simran. I was just sitting there, I was listening. That Shabad, his Naam, is also coming from inside us. We just have to listen. He is chanting that Shabad. He's the one ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. We are listening to that sound from him. Shabad Sat, and his Shabad is Sat. Why our Shabad? Today it's here. Whatever we speak, whatever words we take from our mouth, they are not such. Satgur bina और कच्ची है बाणी. Only Satgur has a sachi bani. Other than Satguru, all is kachi bani. Surt sat sat jas sunta. Shabad sat sat prabh bhakta. He is chanting, he is speaking, that sound is coming from him. Our job is, Surt as in our mind, our mind's job is to listen to that Shabad, listen to that Jas. Jas as in Sift Salah. Jisno Bakshe Sift Salah Nanak Patshahi Patsha. Surt Sat Sat Jas Sunta. Sunna. Sari game sunan di hai, Guru Pyare. Bolan di nahi. When we will listen, when our thoughts will be erased, there will be no dukh. Suniya, dukh paap ka nas. Surt sat sat jas sunta. He is chanting. Our mind has to listen. Sada man, sir man ne sunna. O jap raha, o jap raha. Bujanhar ko sat sab hoye. Nanak sat sat prabh soye. Bujanhar ko sat sab hoye. Only the rare ones will understand this. Bade ghat bujjange. And when they will listen, when they will understand that, they will become like him. Nanak sat sat prabh soye. Because he is the only Sat. When we will listen to him, his voice, when we will understand who Vaheguru is, when we will remove all the peels of the onion, everything, our own identity which we have kept out of the ego, when we will remove that identity, then only we're going to see him. Otherwise, we are never going to see him. And that's happening. We are failing in every birth. Every human birth we got to meet Vaheguru. Pai Prapat Manuk Dehoriya Gobind Milan ki eh teri bariya. Avar kaaj tere kite nakam milsat sangat paj keval naam. We forget to recognize. Nanak Gurmukh aap puchane. Prabh jaise abinasi. Our mind is just like him. He's not something different than us. He's part of us. He's like us. Actually, we are like him. We just have to recognize that we are not a lust, we are not a greed, we are not a anger, we are not attachment, we are not ego, we are not anxiety, we are not a depression, we are not the worry, we are just his purest form. Sat Swarup Hriday Jin Manya. And they're the ones who will understand this, ones who will enshrine his name in their heart, in their mind. Sat Swarup Hriday Jin Manya. What will happen? Manya as in manan, manan karna. As in, manne ki gat kahi na jaye, jeko kahe, piche pachtaye. Kagad kalam na likhan har, manne ka beh karan vichar, aisa naam niranjan hoye, jeko man jane man koi. That naam is Niranjan. Naam, Niranjan, Neer, Narayan, Rasna, Simrat, Paap, Palayan. That's Niranjan, Neer. It's like a water, pure water. His naam is like a pure water. But how can we get it? By doing the chanting. Rasna, Simrat, Paap, Palayan. Once all our filth is removed, then we will see him. Sat Swarup Hriday Jin Manya. Karan Karavan Tin Mool Pachanya, the one who is doing everything, then we'll recognize him. Once his Swarup will enshrine in our mind, ये सारा कुछ पता लग जाएगा. जाके हृदय विश्वास प्रभ आया। विश्वास किस तरह आएगा? विश्वास is faith. How can we get a faith? Only if we will do. गुरबाणी कहे सेवक जन मन है, जाके हृदय विश्वास प्रभ आया, तत् ज्ञान तिस मन प्रगटाया. And then they will get the essence of the wisdom, spiritual wisdom. Only when we have a Vishwas. And how the Vishwas come? When we do the chanting, when we do the Simran, when we erase our filth, when we will erase our thoughts, then only the Gyan will come. We will not be able to even understand Gurbani, Guru Pyareo. If our mind is wandering, is not steady, we can't even understand Gurbani. That's why it's always recommended that before you start chanting, start doing Gurbani, you do a Simran first. Then only Gurbani will go inside us. Then only that filth will go away. Jaake Hriday Vishwas Prabh Aya Tat Gyan. Summary of the Gyan. Tat Gyan. Tat Gyan, the real Gyan, the essence. This man prakataya. Man ch prakat aa jayega. Ud Gyan aa jayega. Then will not be angry with the people. Then will not be in anxiety or in worries, because the Tat Gyan is there. So that's why this journeys of Gyan and Dhyan, Gyan from Dhan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and the Dhyan in the Naam, in the Sat, in the Sach. Tat Gyan tis man praktaya. Pehte nirbo hoye basana. And I was very fearful. I used to fear of everything. But when I got this Gyan, I started putting my Dhyan, then I became Nirpo. Nirpo Japa, Sagalpo Mita. All my fear went away. Pate Nirpo Hoe Basana. Then inside us, we see him all the time. Sanu dar nahi lagda fir anymore. Because he is our sergeant. Meet. Pate Nirpo Hoe Basana. Then we become fearless when he comes in our heart, in our mind. Dar free, fear free. We become fear free. No longer dar, because he's with us all the time. Gur mere sang sada hai nale. Jiste upjya tis mahe samana. And those gurmukhs merge inside the one from where they came. Once they do the darshan, once they see him, once he is in their heart, then the next step is they becomes one with him, merge with him. There's no difference. Jiste upja from there we came, we became part of him. Jiste upja tismahe samana. Bast mahe le bast gadai. That bast, what is that bast? Khat name kar kotadi bandi bast anup beach pai. That naam bast. Bast mahe le bast gadai. Akri naam, Akri Sla, Akri Gyan Geet Gunga. First is Akri Naam. That bust, if we need to find that bust, that Naam inside us, for that the process is we have to chant first. Gurmantar first, Akri Naam first. Akri Naam, Akri Sala, Akri Gyan Geet Gunga. Bast Mahele, Bast Gadai. Then the bust will become one. Same loud Simran, the Akri Simran, the Simran with the words, that Guru Mantar, it will become a Shabad, as in the sound, and then a light. Same. It's like you have a water, right? Now, water or an ice is a stool. Now, when you melt the ice, it becomes a water. When you put a fire under that water, it becomes a steam. Same thing. Naam is the Sukham form, a subtle form of the same Akri Naam at the end of the day. That's why who is speaking, who is chanting? Vaheguru himself is chanting. But that is something, a kirpa, a blessing, a grace, Allah ka karam. Bast mahe le bast gadai, tako penna kehna jai. That you are no longer a difference. You're no longer different than Vaheguru. Your mind is same like Vaheguru. Same. There's no difference left. Bast mahile bahut bast gadai tako penna कहना जाए कहते nobody can say that you are different or separate than the Vaheguru. You are one with Vaheguru. Buja Bujanhar Vivek. Can they only the rare ones which will have Vivek Buddh. That intellect of Gurbani is there. Then only, that's why Gyan is very important, Guru Pyareo. Without the Gyan, there is no Dhyan. If somebody say, I for a whole day I'm sitting and I'm putting a Dhyan, very rare chances because the Gyan is not there. Yes, if the Gyan is there, then you can sit for days. Although my experience is not there for days, it's maybe for hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours at max. But that too, when you listen to that Shabad, you'll go in the deep samadhi. Deep samadhi. And that's why how you should divide your day or your Amrit Vela time. Let's say you have 4 nights you have with you, right? From 12 to let's say 8. At least 8 hours you have. So just do 12 to 2 loud Simran. And then 2 to 3 Antargat Simran. And you will not even know when you went for the Samadhi. And sit in the Samadhi till 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So many things will happen. In the Samadhi, you will listen to that Shabad. That's Sat. In the Samadhi. Gur Shabdi Gobind Gajya. The sound will be there. A loud sound will be there. And if you will not open your eyes, if you keep on listening, same sound will become the darshan of Sat. Buja Bujana Har Vivek. But if we will not have a Vivek from the Gurbani, we will not be able to understand what is happening. The sound will come, we'll think that there is some fireworks outside. We'll open our eyes. We'll start looking into the window and see, oh, there was a firework. Because it's a very loud sound. First, the sound of Naad is very loud. But once you are continuously in the habit of listening to the Naad, it will not scare you any longer. That's why at the end also when we are about to leave our physical body, we are going to hear that loud sound, Gajya. And if we don't know that sound is coming from where, then we'll go to the jumps. But if we'll know that then it's a Naam, then we will go towards that sound, towards that light, we'll merge there. Any kripa ho jayegi. Maharaj is so Dyalu Kripalu, he gives us the chance even at the last moment also. But when we will listen to that sound, if we'll go towards the light, Maharaj says, Narayan mile, Nanak ek. You become a part of him. And we have to learn this Jugti while we are alive, while we are in this body. Moya jitkar jaiye, tit jeev tya mar mar. Can they the place where you have to go once you are dead, when you have to leave your body, find that place right away while you are in this physical body. Don't wait till the death. Don't wait till leaving this body. Find that place right now and you can do it. Mehnat. We do so much hard work for this world, but we don't do hard work for meeting Vaheguru. Jinni naam te aaya gaye mashakkat kaal. We have to do mashakkat. And if we'll do this labor, mashakkat, Nanak te mukujle, keti chuti naal, will be liberated, will be saved. आओ जी कोशिश करिए. वाह, tummy in, listen to your voice. Guru, tummy out, listen to your voice. Wah, Guru, wah, Guru, wah, Guru, wah, Guru, wah, Guru, wah, Guru, wah, Guru. सेवा कर लो गुरुमुख प्यारे. Wah, Guru, 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 why? Guru, anybody can do the seva, Guru Pyareo. Why? Guru, why? Guru, why? Guru, why? Guru, why? Guru, why? Guru, why?
Why, Guru, 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 Var, 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 Guru। अंतर्गत हो जाओ जी, मन ही सुने, मन ही जपे। अमाप गुण भरे एक गुण नाही, अमृत छाड़ बिखे बिख खाई। माया मोह भरम पे भूले, सुत दारा स्यों प्रीत लगाई। एक उत्तम पंथ सुन्यो गुर संगत, तह मिलंत जम त्रास मिटाई। एक अरदास भाट की रत की, गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। भूल चुक